My name is James Williams Jr. Just going to be short because I have to do things tomorrow, and I'm probably going to take all day. So this will probably be posted up late. It'll probably be posted up on Wednesday. Just due to the fact that I have so much that I have to do today and tomorrow. Well, tomorrow and Wednesday. So I'm gonna blog about something that's more near to me than anyone else. You guys probably will give me like the biggest finger for this or whatever. But first off, I don't want to disrespect the family or the WWE. I'm a big time video game fan, and no one is truly a saint to themselves. But I played a lot of video games, and my favorite wrestler of all time has always been Chris Benoit. And I wanted to know if y'all would think that maybe since THQ did the last game with him in it, that maybe the WWE would allow him to come back into the video game since they're bringing in all the old legends, and some of the legends have passed away. And we really don't understand why Chris Benoit did what he did, and it's high time that we forgave him for that. And he does have one living child left, and maybe, like I said, I respect the WWE. Maybe they can put his father back in the game and give the money and proceeds from the game to the child. I mean, really, y'all have to look at the past history of Chris Benoit. You really have to look at the history of Chris Benoit, and you have to look at how he has changed the face of wrestling. You have to look at how pound for pound, granted he was barely 6 feet tall, but he was the baddest damn wrestler that there was. Before the Yes movement and before everybody else. No one could really beat this guy. No one, except for people who was trained in the same place he was trained in. And if I'm wrong, you can correct this. I'm pretty sure that he was trained in a hard dungeon, but he was one of the best of the best of the very best. And I'm not trying to overglorify him because he's like my hero and everything, or one of my heroes. But it's just the concept. The very last game with Chris Benoit in it was one of the THQs. But I would think that the WWE would at least respect what he's done for the business and allow him back into like another game, even if it's just like a one-shot deal, just in case his living child um, needs the proceeds, you know, because it's not fair that no one really even acknowledges him anymore, and I still acknowledge him because he's still my hero. And if I had the full capability and the weight to go into wrestling, I would be the next Chris Benoit. Without the murder suicide thing. And again, I apologize to the family if that's offensive, but that's what the news gave us. I don't really believe it because, in my personal opinion, if you're about to get the rematch of your life and you're about to whoop Triple H's ass and win the belt back, suicide and murder doesn't seem like that would be on your agenda. But that's what the news said, so you kind of got to go with it. But in all honesty and due respect, there weren't too many people who could go one-on-one with Chris Benoit and actually win. Even though we know that wrestling is practically scripted, but sometimes they switch during the show, so you don't really know what's going to go on in the audience or on TV. But they know when they go in and they go out. And if you've watched The Secrets of Wrestling, you probably all know. And I'm not trying to ruin the wrestling fantasy because even though I've watched it, I still watch wrestling because I am a strong supporter of sports entertainment. Not that they'll ever give me a job at the WWE, although I am open for hiring if that's what you really want to do. I'm down, you know. But I wanted to argue the point of that, you know, a lot of wrestlers that haven't been really loyal to the WWE are back with the WWE. And if you like read way back in the social media where it was I want to say it was Xbox who was like, "There's no way in hell I'd ever go back," and then there was other people saying, "There's no way in hell that Vince would ever give him a job," and yet he's back, and the whole DX clan has been back, and when you think about it, the winds of change are always changing. So I wouldn't feel bad if I had to buy a game if it especially had Chris Benoit in it. It doesn't have his theme music in any of the games. I don't have Hogan's theme music in any of the games. Those are the only two theme musics I had, that I liked. And it doesn't have Rob Van Dam's theme music in the game. I really like Rob Van Dam, and I wish he didn't retire or leave or whatever it is that he done. But because Rob Van Dam, and all due respect, was the never say die white guy, especially in the video games. You could not beat him, and you could not beat Chris Benoit in that video game. So or maybe they could make an import game where you could take the people from THQ and anybody that's ever been in a WWE game, from any system, and import it into the next game. That would be fucking awesome. So my name is James Williams Jr. and I would like to thank you guys. This has been a good night, or it's been a hard day. Honestly, it hasn't been a good night at all. But it's getting better because I'm about to go to fuck to sleep, and hopefully, when the morning comes, things aren't going to be like they were today. All right, I'm James Williams Jr. This is Comfy Habit number 2. Thank you, and Chris Benoit, wherever you are in your family, I miss you, and I thank you. Because without you, I probably wouldn't even be watching wrestling anymore. So thank you, Mr. Benoit. And to his immediate family that are still alive, I apologize if this has offended anybody, but I honestly do miss Chris Benoit being in the video games, because that was like the closest I was ever going to get to meeting him. You know what I'm saying? By playing him. And he was the only character I ever really used except for like my man-made character. And when I make myself, I always use the crippler crossface as my finishing move, because that's how much I loved Chris Benoit. So, he was my hero, for wrestling. Him, The Rock, all them, but definitely Chris Benoit. When he broke up on the scene, man, you knew that he had it, And it's funny that no one ever says anything about him. They don't honor him. He's not going to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, and I do honestly think that he should be. I'd be more than willing to fight anybody for that if I had a good hip and my kung fu skills weren't completely put on hiatus until the doctor says so. But, at this moment, I'm as crippled as a cripple could be. So, I'm James Williams Jr. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Thank you guys, and to the family of Chris Benoit, thank you for giving us a good wrestler. Farewell.